Basically, I just got home. Uh, just got home from work. Just got home from work, and what I wanted to talk about today is, which is hopefully it'll be a positive rant because I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying not to not to be negative or try to create negative energy and things. So today's rant is about. I always talk about the primal, and a lot of people may not understand what primal is. Often people say, in political sections, people say you got to get primal and tribal. Well, I'll say a lot of times, most of the time, I try to keep it primal, but I don't really want to try to get too tribal. You get too tribal just might turn into segregation all of a sudden. You get here. Listen to what I just said. You get too tribal, it may turn into some straight up segregation, or you don't want to go into certain territories. You don't want to get too tribal, man. If you know what I mean by tribal, you don't want to get too clicky, too cliquey. You don't want to maybe not, but you may want to stay primal. When I say primal, people, if I could make it a simpler definition, what really your primal energy really is your impulse. That's what that is. Because you have two things. You have one state of mind where you are drawing from, what's the word? Social norms. Maybe you're drawing from things you've been taught, maybe a set of rules, maybe a set of etiquette, like a type of etiquette. But then there is a base nature of a person that without any direction, they'll have an impulse. Impulse is like picking your nose. Some people pick their nose. I know it sounds gross, but some people pick their nose, and some people actually eat their boogers. That's really gross, but some people do it. Some people suck their thumb. That's impulse. That's primal. You know, um, these are things that are impulsive. You know, um, it even sometimes it's like when let's say you have to work leg day or you have to work chest day. If you have to work chest one day, you may find yourself often um, wanting to put your weight all on your arms and your chest, because your muscles went through a cycle of healing, and now they're ready to be torn down again. So they're aching. Their impulse is asking to be stressed. So you will, what's the word? Thinking you may not do it because you're thinking, oh, it'll look weird if I just get down on my hands and feet and start, pushing up or leaning because my muscles are but they want to do that so bad right now. They need to be stretched. Like they feel cramped. That's what happens when your muscles and things have a routine and get accustomed to things. They have their own impulse. You know what I mean? Not saying your muscles are walking around with a whole entire brain like you're saying this and that, but they have their own impulse after time. And a person without being raised in any environment will always have certain impulses bodily. Like you will always stretch, you will always yawn. You know what I mean? If you're human, you always yawn, you always stretch, you always blink. It's like things like that. It's impulse, So some of the good things I'd say, the positives about it, I'll also go into now when you meditate, right? A lot of times to get in the right state of mind to meditate, you have to be perfectly relaxed. So that means you can't think of any, what's the word? You don't have any restrictions. You just let things just flow. You don't care what you look like, sound like, how you act. You just don't care. You let it all go. So if your ears wants to friggin' twitch, if your eyes want to roll around to the back of your head, then let them roll around. If your mouth wants to hang open like this, let it hang open. If some drool wants to come out, let the drool just come out. You just let it go. Let it all go. Because what you're doing is you're throwing away etiquette that maybe would prevent you from being relaxed, and you're letting your body just go into whatever primal state it just wants to go into. You're just letting it just go. You know, you're not holding anything, you're not trying to be a certain way, you're just letting it all go. And the thing is, now, obviously, I don't just let it all go 24/7, whatever. It takes to even to get into a meditative state, it takes me a while to get relaxed. I actually struggle a lot with meditating because it takes a lot of relaxation. My mind has to stop thinking too. It's not just physical. My mind has to stop churning in gears going around. It has to come to a very base halt, or if it focuses on one thing or one concept, it takes a lot for me to focus on anything like that. So, but the pluses are, I'd say, when you really delve into your primal instincts and your primal impulses, you feel a weight off your shoulders. Like you pretty much feel like you don't have as much anxiety. Like you don't really have as much anxiety about what someone may think, or you feel, how do I say? I feel like there's an aspect of youth that you feel, not necessarily infantilization or anything, but there's a much more natural youth about you, I guess, that you would acquire because the thing, as adults, as we become adults, you learn a lot of things. Like there are a lot of behaviors that you learn, and you're told certain things that are necessarily may be bullshit, but you're told things. You know, like things like, you know, don't stand in the chair. You know what I mean? Like it's a chair, don't stand on it. Or don't put your elbows on the table. You know, even though it's bullshit. You know, who the fuck cares? Put your fucking elbow on the table. Put your titty on the table. I don't care. No one cares. Put your whatever on the fucking table. You know, whatever. And then, you know, you become a real adult and you have your own table, so no one tells you what to do. But in your mind, you just do still have a lot of things that are ingrained that people put into your mind. You know, it's just like habits, like you have. You know, like if people, you know, if you work on a job site, like you have habits, like you know, you don't leave a certain thing in a hazardous area because it's hazardous. Or you know, if you have a gun, like you're law enforcement, like you know that you may want to have a, what do they call, a lock for the trigger, so you don't accidentally reach in your pocket or reach in wherever you have it and pull, you know, pull your trigger. You make sure that you put the safety on. You make sure the safety's off. You make sure that there is not a bullet chambered in the gun. You know, it's things like that, like little, you know, things that you are taught by someone that you hold and you will always kind of do almost subconsciously, kind of like when you don't need to even lock a door, but you locked it anyway because you're so used to locking the door. So what happens when you try to delve into like the primal? I mean primal, man. You'd be surprised. Matter of fact, you'd be surprised what some people are capable of. You'd be surprised what really some people really are once all of their layers of teaching are off and all of their layers of like learned behaviors are gone. You wouldn't even recognize them. You may not even recognize them, man. Especially if they're in certain altered states. You wouldn't recognize them. You'd think it's a totally different being or sitting somewhere else. You'd be like, oh, that was John. Nah, that's an animal. That ain't John. You know, so because it's like there's stages of things and there's layers, man. And literally, you have to go through those layers to get to something. You know, there are layers in people's psyche. There's layers of people's behavior, and there's fields of layers of behaviors and habits and everything with a person. So the impulse of a person, impulse will cause you to imp- impulse will cause you to play with your left titty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, it will. Like impulse will, you know, you see some bitch that just wants to play with her left titty, like not even sexual. She's just like playing with it. It's like some people touch themselves. You know, I've seen people do that. Like they sit there and rub their own leg, like just nonchalant, because it's an impulse. It's like it's their body just doing something that it just does. You know, just like sometimes some people, it's a nervous thing. They get nervous and then they start playing with things. Like I do that too sometimes. Like I'll start like, usually I'll find that I have to like scratch a surface of something, or I have to play with something in my hand or something to distract myself from the anxiety of my surroundings or whatever, or smell something, which is usually for me. I like the smells of like dirt and twigs and trees and plants, stuff like that. But it's that, it's the impulse. It's the primal, um, and it's a mind and muscle connection too. Especially if you're very active, your muscles are going to get a certain way, and then they're going to be on their own regimen, their own schedule. They're going to break down, they're going to heal, and then they're going to want to go at it again. So because it's active, muscles act very active tissue. Fat is actually very active in a way because it regulates a lot of things in your body, but muscle is a different type of reaction. It's more of a fucking physical reaction. Like it's a literal restless leg, having running dreams, you're sleeping, your legs want to move. It's that type of shit. But those are some of the pluses of delving into your impulse and walking in your impulse. When I say walking your impulse, I mean just doing what the fuck you want to do. You know what I mean? Like if you want to like if you feel like skipping, you're not going to have to worry. You're not worrying that you are a grown man, a grown straight man, and you're skipping. Your legs are going to want to skip, so just let them skip. You know what I mean? If you want to go chew on a pen, because obviously you motherfuckers chew on pens all day. Adults, I don't know, adults chew on pens. It's fucking hilarious, but we do. You want to go chew on a pen, just chew the fucking pen. You know what I mean? Chew on the pen, man. Because I'm telling you, the reason why you want to do this is for two reasons. If you would want to do this, delve into your impulse, into your primal, is because you want to relieve stress and you want to maximize your potential. See, the thing about a lot of people is human beings, we don't reach certain potentials a lot of times because of stressors and pressure. When I say pressure, I mean like pressure from people to act a certain way or to not do something or to take a different course of action or to behave in a certain way. That's fine. But I'm saying there can be a point where you will not reach a certain potential ever if you have any stress or influence in that way. I'll give you an example. It's kind of like if you were a it's like if you're a fighter, right? It's like if you're a professional fighter. Now, if you're the guy who loves to fight and you know that you are a straight animal, like when you fight and you know you don't give two fucks how badly you really look. When I say look, I mean you don't care how ruthless you look. You know what I mean? You don't care if people think, "Oh man, that's that guy. He goes a little too rough." Like that. John Jones is. I hate to say it, but John Jones is probably a dick. But if anyone knows who John Jones is, it's like John Jones hurt somebody's knee. Because he did a fucking what do you what is it? I forgot the kick, but it's a kick that basically it's a low kick that you target a person's knee pretty much. So it's pretty damaging to someone's knee, and especially if it's hit over and over in a fucking fight and he keeps purposely doing it. So he's known for accidentally not really crippling but hurting people pretty fucking bad in fights because he's doing some shady shit. It's like him, but I think he does it on purpose. Just like there's a guy, I think he poked a guy in the eye because he kept fucking jabbing at this guy's eye. You know what I'm saying? Not jabbing with a closed fist. He kept jabbing with an open fist, in the right range to poke this guy's fucking eye. And I think he damaged the guy's eye, man. The guy's eye might have been permanently damaged. But that's what I mean. It's kind of like if you don't care how you like. Let's say you're not doing that because you're trying to cripple or you do anything to win. Let's say you are that's just kind of how you fight. Like you just have a very what's the word? A very killer instinct, and you're one of those people who you are very precise and very damaging because naturally, like I said, naturally, not what people try to pressure on you. Naturally, you know what is really gonna hurt a person when and where, and you have like that timing, but it's brutal and it looks ruthless because it's like someone else may call that a dick move. They're like, okay, well you poked this person in the eye, you really fucked this person's knee up, or you really cranked this person's neck. What do you got on the neck crank? You really cranked it, like you were vicious about it. You know what I mean? The point is this: if you're an athlete, you can't give a fuck about that shit. I mean, you can. The point I'm trying to make is you probably are not maximizing your potential as an athlete if you don't let your natural primal just go, and just do what you do naturally, how you do it. Like if you're a singer too. If you're a singer and you're like afraid of, let's say, how you look when you sing, because some people look ugly as fuck when they sing, like their mouth gets all uh hanging and shit, and their mouth looks all weird and their eyes look all weird and shit when they sing, and their head moves all weird when they sing, right? If you're self-conscious about that, well, then you're not maximizing your potential as a singer. Because if you know you can really sing and hit the notes how you want, you fucking do whatever your body's going to do to get the right perfect effect, because that's what it takes. So that's what I'm trying to say. So a lot of times, to get relaxed enough to deal with life and stressor, sometimes you have to drop the bullshit. You got to drop all the facade, drop all the learned habits, and learn this and etiquette, and drop all the fucking etiquette, throw it out the window, because sometimes no one gives a fuck anyway, you know what I mean? Or it's not really their problem, or they look at you like you're someone else's problem. That's what I get a lot. I get people looking at me weird, right? They're like a little weird, and I'm thinking they probably thinking it's someone else's problem, so they don't really care, and I just go about my own business, but like I said, it's like a weight off your shoulders. You technically, not only would you feel a little bit more youthful, but you technically are more youthful mentally, because the thing about, and the difference between learned behaviors and intelligence is you can have super high intelligence, but you may have no acceptable etiquette that anyone else has. Like a person could be a funky, nasty, don't wash, they stink booty, don't fucking brush their teeth, and they could be a fucking genius. You know what I mean? They could be a hermit and sit around, fucking working for someone, developing like new propulsion systems and fucking vehicles and doing all this shit. But maybe that motherfucker just is funky and nasty because he doesn't like showering. He hates showering and shit. He's nasty fuck. You know, me, I love to be clean, but some motherfuckers could be way smarter than me. They don't want to be clean. So that's what I mean. Like, now maybe if this person tried to be like everyone else, they just couldn't get relaxed enough to really delve into their potential. And that's why I always revert. That's why this channel, a lot of times I like using the term buck wild and crazy. Because that's kind of me, you know what I mean? Like, without being in the setting where I have to be professional and act professional and act like something that's not gonna like startle someone, or what's the word, look weird or whatever. I'm crazy as fuck, man. You know what I mean? Like, not crazy in a bad way, but in a good way, because I'm very wild and free. That's why I also like to use the term brave, wild, and free, because I'm brave, wild, and free. I'm like a fucking a wild animal that you took off the field, out in the wilderness, and put me right here, because I don't give a fuck what you think. I fucking go where I want to go, when I want to go, say what I want to say, and act however the fuck I want to act. You know what I mean? That's just me. So that's what I mean. You can be polite, but you can also still be yourself. And what I mean, and you could also, you don't have to be polite, but you could be your complete self when you're in your own domain. You don't have to act fake, or you just let yourself go and just do what you do. So it's a good thing. So when I talk about the word, the primal, that's what I'm talking about, because this is real shit. This is shit this is the shit that you do when you close the door. Because a lot of people, you do shit out in the open, but when you close your door, it's a different story, and I know you fucking do. So you can't fool me. So I know that some of you motherfuckers do some weird shit behind your closed doors. And I'm not talking about no sexual shit either. I'm talking about just some weird shit that you motherfuckers be doing. I know what some of you motherfuckers do. I know some of you got some weird things going on too. Like, some of you motherfuckers eat shit that's not food. I know what you do, man. Not saying anyone I know personally, but I know some people that do that shit. You eat things that aren't food, man. You chew on shit. Like you know you're an animal. You chew on shit. You know what I mean? You do weird shit. You do weird shit. I know some of you motherfuckers know how to swim, and I know you go in the water and you blow bubbles with your fucking anus, with your fucking booty hole, man. Women and men, I know you guys be doing that. Someone might say, "Who the fuck does that?" Oh, who the fuck does that? Okay, man. There's probably some motherfucker right now in the kiddie pool at their house, and she's probably a fine chick. She's probably very attractive, and this bitch probably is trying to blow bubbles with her anus and suck water up her anus and blow it back out, and think like, "Fuck it, I use chlorine. I'll just clean the pool. Pool guy'll get it. He no one will know." That's what I mean. They just letting it go. They're just doing what they fucking do. I know motherfuckers pick their nose and shit. It's just, it's gross. I know it's gross. It's very gross. But that's what I'm trying to get the point across. What impulse is, because some people, the thing is, some people don't really understand. They don't think about things like that. They don't really think of what's going on. But what you got to understand is, um, not for everyone, but for some people, we need time to let ourselves just go. So you can't, you just got to let yourself just go for a while. That's why sometimes I haven't been able to go out really much because of this weather, but when it's like warm, a lot of times I just have to get into nature and just let myself just go. You know what I mean? Oftentimes, I'll give you an example, as weird as it sounds, but oftentimes when I walk to a location, I first find that my body, everything wants to lay down. Like, I don't want to sit down. I don't want to stand and pace. I want to lay down. Kind of like a dog. Like, I just want to go. I usually lay down on, usually grass, because I don't like to lay on dirt because, I don't want to get my clothes completely dirty. In all honesty, I wouldn't even want to be wearing clothes, to tell you the truth. I would want to be fucking nude, to tell you the truth. And then dirt would be fine. But I usually lay in the grass, you know what I mean? And I've had weird looks. I had even a guy come up, he said, sir, are you okay? Do you need water? And I'm like, I'm fine. Because I guess the thing is, they're not used to people laying in the grass. But I don't get it. It's like, why would you not lay in the grass? Like, when you go home a lot of times, I know I'm not the only one. You know, sometimes you'll lay on your bed, or you'll go hit the rug, like you have a rug and a floor, or maybe even just a floor or tile. And you'll come straight home and you'll just lay on the floor real quick and just like stretch out, like stretch your body completely out, and you just take deep breaths, and like you don't care if you even fall asleep a little. You just use as much time as you need until you're ready to get up. I do that sometimes at like a park. It could even be like a more brush park part, like a trail part where there's really no one there. Because I really like my space, but that's what I mean. And that when I do that, usually it gets me ready for whatever comes next. Like it's just the first thing that naturally just comes, because I think of it, I walks from my house all the way to whatever park, so naturally you're kind of going to want to lay down. But that's what I mean. But what I'm going to also add to is like the social part is that most people are taught, oh, you're gonna look weird, you're gonna look strange, you like motherfucker. Like, oh, so let me guess, is you're gonna take $100 out of my fucking paycheck or my rent because I looked weird, motherfucker? No, you're not. No, you're not. Am I gonna get some fucking pussy, or am I gonna get a girlfriend, or am I gonna get a hookup of like decorate my whole room with furniture I didn't buy, or fancy shit I like that I didn't buy for free because I didn't look weird? Oh no, right? See, it doesn't work like that. So you got to pick and choose. You got to realize sometimes no one gives a fuck. No one cares that you seem normal. See me, I'm not normal. So there's no there's no what's the word for? There's no chance really. There is no chance of me being normal. There's only me behaving and picking and choosing how I want to behave. Or if I really respect someone or respect how they feel, I'll suppress whatever I need to make them feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Because that's out of love and respect. You know. But naturally, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't care. But naturally, I am what I am. Naturally, it is what it is, and no, there's no. What am I supposed to do? But that's just an example. That's really a small example. I'm just giving you a small example. I ain't giving you everything there yet. But but that's just what that is. So basically, if you're looking to find a way of like what's the word, maximizing some potential or something, or you're thinking of a way to and don't get it twisted, man. Don't go thinking you're gonna do some crazy impulsive nasty shit like you're gonna fucking go beat up the next door neighbor because because you don't like the way the next door neighbor's trash is too piled up, or you're gonna say his kid's ball keeps going into your yard, so you're gonna say impulse primal, you're gonna hop the fence and beat his ass. I'm not talking about some crazy shit like that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, man. I'm not saying you're going to do some wild shit like you're gonna masturbate in public or something. No, don't go crazy with this shit. Just what I'm saying is, maybe if you're looking for a way to, like, if you're into bettering your psyche, and sometimes a lot of people don't give a fuck, but I mean, if you're into anything more spiritual or more mental, like you want to, or like I said, if you're an athlete or something, get the concept of going into your primal state. Get the concept of letting your impulses go. Not go. Letting your impulses not rule you either, because rule is a bad word. Because rule means it's fucking out of control. I'm saying letting your impulses just be, kind of let them just run, and see what happens. Like, see how you feel. See how if you like it. You know what I mean? Give yourself time to see if you like it. That's like, I'll give you another example. Sometimes I'll be walking somewhere, and usually this is when I'm training. Usually it's when I'm working out, and it tends to be usually when I'm doing like upper body, like I'm doing pull-ups, brachiation, climbing, something like that. In during resting during sets, I find that my legs want to walk, not because I'm tired in the lower body, because when you pump a muscle, usually the other muscle group is like really ready and charged, and it's loaded. You know what I'm saying? But when when I do that, usually my legs want to move very slow, and I mean like a slow walk. I mean like a walk as slow as like a scanning, like what do they call a fox walk, almost like when you're walking through um the wilderness, and you're like, let's say you're even like stalking something because you're just trying to watch it, and you know how you have to walk at that slow 1 foot in the other straight line pace, and you everything's just level, and you got that slow walk. You're using your peripheral vision like a deer. You're just like not looking at anything but looking at everything. When sometimes we as people, we always are rushing, so we just walk, we're rushing, right? A lot of times we don't take the time to realize how beneficial it is for your psyche when you you slow everything down to a super creep, to where you are walking so slow that now it's an exercise for your legs to consciously balance, because you're putting all the weight on one leg at a time. When you do that, it does something for, maybe not for everybody, but for I'm pretty sure it would for everyone. What it does, it gets you very relaxed. You know what I'm saying? It gets you relaxed. It don't Not only does it get you extremely aware of your eyes, smell, everything. Vibration on your feet. Your senses become very aware, but you slow down physically, and you will probably become very, very calm doing this. You know what I mean? A lot of times that's an impulse for me to move in that way. It's an impulse for me to move super slow, kind of like an orangutan. You ever watch an orangutan just move very, very slowly? Because it's conserving its energy. It's not expending its energy. It's just moving, because it has no destination, no time set. It's just moving, you know, methodically and slow. That's what I mean. Now, does it look weird? Yes, it looks extremely weird. Someone looking at it, it'd be like, fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Because they're used to this clumsy, fast, crazy, wobbly. What's the word? Rushed that people have going on. Um, I mean, what's the point of rushing if you're not doing anything? You know, it's like, but that's what I mean. That's something that people don't really do a lot of, and when you do it, you realize how good it feels when you actually do. You know, you realize that like, shit, a lot of times you're just moving too fucking fast. You know what I mean? Like, slow the fuck down. Like, slow the fuck down mentally and physically, and just take in all the things that are around you. You know what I mean? You start noticing shit you didn't notice before. You know what I mean? Like, you start hearing shit you didn't hear. You feeling stuff beneath your feet you didn't feel. You know, um, so that's another thing. You know, but I'm saying that to make a point of that. Yes, it looks weird, and it's not a good thing to do if there's people around you because you're going to bump into them. They're going to get in your way. You know what I mean? And most likely, guess who's the one who's going to trip? Them, because they're moving too fucking fast and you're moving slow, you know? So it's kind of ironic and fun, but it's funny. Um, you know, and in that way, you can. The thing about that too is if there was a lot of clutter around you, when you're moving that slow, you can stop very easily and you can change your direction very easily. You know, you tend not to just trip a lot. That's why you don't see me trip a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. And if I do trip, I usually recover very well because of that. You know, that type of training gets you ready for that. You know, it's like the difference between moving in the wilderness and then moving on the sidewalk. On the sidewalk, you can fucking walk as clumsy and bumbly and fast as you fucking want. In the wilderness, you're gonna trip over a bunch of shit. You're gonna trip over rocks, logs, fucking everything. You know, thorns, everything. It's all that. So you're gonna have to walk a certain way. You know, but what I'm trying to get to you is that you got to go back to the primal sometimes because you're missing out on something that's there. What it's something that you don't know exists, but it's always been there. You know, you're just not delving into is what you're not doing. You're not tapping into it. Is what I'm saying. You're not tapping into that potential that's there. You know, so basically, I don't really have much more to say. Uh, I'm tired of doing these fucking rants, man. Can you tell? Because I can tell. I'm fucking tired of doing these rants. But that to me, that was positive enough. You know, I'm trying to make positive shit right now. I'm trying to make positive positive rants. So think about it. Is what I'm saying. Think about it within reason. Don't cover yourself in butter now, because I know some of you fetish people out there cover yourself in butter and think you're gonna want to slide around on the grass butt naked while you know the next family over can see you through the fence. Now don't get that impulsive. Now don't get too crazy. But delve into your impulse, delve into your primal, be impulsive within reason, and see how you like it.